Well, how about a little plot twist? The mystery team in the Dame sweepstakes revealed. Zach LaVine potentially on the trade block. And could the Lillard and Harden deals turn into a mega team deal? We'll break all of it down here on Philly Take with RB.
Perfect.
What is up, everybody? RB here. Welcome into the show. Hit the like button if you enjoy the content. Drop a comment down below for the algo. Hit the subscribe. Ring the bell. Don't miss any of the coverage. We are a couple weeks away from NBA training camp, and I finally feel like we are in the NBA groove. No more off-season crap. We are here. The storylines are piling in, and I am pumped to get into what we have to today. I can't wait to chop it up. But let me ask a question to the people out there. Drop a comment right now down below. Let me know. If Zach LaVine is truly available, should the Sixers go out and try to acquire him? Should they push every button they can to try to bring him to Philadelphia? Give me your thoughts on that down below. And before we jump into the madness, a shout out to our sponsor of today's video, Caldera Lab. They specialize in men's skincare. They've sent me some of their products recently, and I am loving them. Now, listen, your skin is one of the first thing that people think about, people notice, people look at when they meet you. And right now, unfortunately, people are neglecting that. They're taking it for granted. Before they know it, the old age, the wrinkles are all settling in. Boom, they're wishing they could go back in time, but it's too late. Fortunately for you, though, that does not have to be an issue at Caldera Lab because their products are changing the game. In fact, they actually just conducted clinical trials and found that 94% of men's skin showed overall younger appearance when using their products just for a couple weeks, just a few weeks. And my favorite thing about Caldera Lab is that their product line is so simple, right? You don't have to think into it too much. You don't have to do too much research. It's literally just 3 steps, right? You use the clean slate first. That is the face wash. And then you dive in to the base layer, which is the daily moisturizer. Keep the skin clean. And lastly, you use the good, which is very good. It is the serum, the magic that makes it happen. Helps reduce visibility of wrinkles. It has over 3 million antioxidants that help protect your skin. Boom, you're looking younger in no time. All you have to do is use this routine twice a day. I've been using it for a couple weeks now, and I'm already noticing improvements. So easy as that. Go down to the description or click the link in the pinned comment. Go to calderalab.com. Use code PHILLYTAKE, get 20% off. Again, code PHILLYTAKE, 20% off at checkout. You will not find a better offer than that right now. All right, let's jump into it. So yesterday, we're getting flooded with NBA news. And what do you know? We get more insight into the situation. In fact, our Sixers guy, Kyle Neubeck, out here breaking some reports. This is on NBA Retweet Twitter page. But Kyle Neubeck said it on his podcast yesterday. He said the Bulls might try to move Zach LaVine as part of a multi-team deal to see if they can get in to the Damian Lillard sweepstakes. Boom, what do you know? I've been up here saying since June, the Bulls are a wild card. They're a very interesting team this offseason, and Kyle reveals that they are indeed the team that have been making calls and trying to get their feet wet when it comes to Damian Lillard. Now, again, he said this on his podcast, the Philly Sixers pod yesterday, and he names the Chicago Bulls, but a lot of people right now are misconstruing what Kyle was trying to say. So I'll break it down for you very clearly. I'll give you the exact. He is not saying, I repeat, he is not saying that the Bulls are trying to trade Zach LaVine straight up for Damian Lillard. What he is saying is that the Bulls are trying to separately, first and foremost, trade Zach LaVine to get picks, young players, whatever it is, to stockpile assets, combine that with what they already have, and then go try to make a huge offer for Damian Lillard and try to essentially beat out the Miami Heat. Now, we know where the Dame talks stand right now. The Heat do not want to go down. The Blazers don't want to go down. The Heat don't want to go up. Those two are not really seeing eye to eye, and they haven't agreed on a deal. The season's about a month away, so these Dame and Harden deals are probably going to have to happen if they are. Otherwise, it's going to get ugly. But now throwing Zach LaVine into the mix, that brings up a lot. And obviously, I don't think the Sixers are really in position to go get him, but Daryl Morey has to be picking up the phone saying, Chicago, I'm here. I want to talk. Now, again, here on NBA Central page, they put out this quote from Hoops Hype, but again, it doesn't matter, right? The Trailblazers are not interested in Zach LaVine. It doesn't matter. They're not trying to trade him to the Blazers. He doesn't fit in with their timeline. He's 28. He's in his prime, getting paid a lot. He is trying to help a team win now. And now there's a lot of other suitors, right, who are trying to get in this mix. Oh, Zach LaVine, I'll take him. I'll take him. Let's look at his contract real quick. Zach LaVine this upcoming year will make $40 million. Next year, 43, then 46, then a player option for 49. So essentially, you trade for Zach LaVine, it's like signing a guy to a free agent contract. You might get him for 3 or 4 years. And, you know, a lot of people are talking about this stacked free agent class next year. Well, here's a guy that you could essentially count as a free agent if you can get him, right? Give up a few assets, maybe count it like a sign and trade. Boom, you got a guy on your roster the next couple of years. And people are now debating back and forth. Oh, Zach is overrated. Then people say he's underrated. Listen, Zach LaVine is a good player. Are there games, stretches where he's inconsistent? Yes, but let's compare, for example, Tobias Harris. Zach LaVine's a better shooter, shoots 40% from 3 almost every year. He can slash to the basket, put it on the floor. He can play on the ball, off the ball. He's quicker. He brings athleticism. He can help pick up the pace of this team. He wouldn't have to have the ball in his hands every night, you know, and chuck up 35 shots. If you need him to, he probably can. But, you know, if Maxey could take a next step, I could really see Zach LaVine being a wing, by the way, coming in here and being a perfect fit with Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. I think he'd be locked in. I don't think there's ever been a perfect fit in Chicago with DeMar DeRozan, unfortunately. I mean, they're good guys, but they just haven't fit with each other. And I think with the trajectory of the Bulls franchise, they're going to look to move off him. I'll talk about that more in a second. But I just think there'd be a great fit here in Philadelphia with Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. He would help, again, pick up the pace, make this team a little longer, more athletic. I would like it, man. I would like it. I've always liked Zach LaVine, but he has to stay healthy for sure. And again, he's 28 years old. So if the Sixers can't go out and sign anybody, why not trade for Zach LaVine right now if they can do it? But it's going to be hard to do that. Now, when it comes to the Chicago Bulls, one thing comes to my mind that I've been talking about all summer, man. It doesn't make sense what they're doing. And they re-signed Vucevic, right? DeRozan's going into the last year of a deal. Then we hear LaVine's been included in trade talks. This is not new, ladies and gentlemen. The Bulls are trying to move Zach LaVine. They know that Lonzo's now not coming back, maybe ever, obviously not this year. And they're saying we're probably not a championship team. So what they're really trying to do is make a power move. They're trying to pair Damian Lillard with DeMar DeRozan. Would Dame be okay with going to Chicago? Kyle mentions in that podcast episode right after, you know, you send Dame to Chicago. He's vocally stated he only wants to go to Miami. That's pretty much been the reports from the inside sources, but it's kind of come out from him with subliminal messages like, oh, I want to go to Miami. And the reports are he doesn't want to play anywhere else. So would he be okay with that? That's another issue. You don't want to make that move with uncertainty. But as it relates to the Sixers, they got to get in this mix because if Chicago is trying to gear up, a couple things come to my mind. Number one, what if you can get a 3-team deal going where the Sixers end up sending James Harden to, say, the Clippers, the Bulls send Zach LaVine to the Sixers, and the Clippers go out and send the young assets and picks that the Sixers don't have to Chicago, right? What about that 3-team trade? I mean, I think that checks boxes for everybody. Another way you could do it is, what if you combine everything, kind of interconnect these deals and these talks with Harden and Lillard into one mega team deal? Chicago, Miami, Philly, the Clippers, right? Or another team, right? Get everybody locked in together and send pieces everywhere. You know, the guys that all these teams want, the Blazers, etc. Make it a huge mega team deal. That would obviously get very complicated. It would be hard to go out and execute, but it's still a possibility. Another way I could think about it, which would be a little bit harder, but what if the Sixers send Tobias and maybe they sweeten the deal with Jaden Springer, a 2029 first rounder, and I don't know, DeAnthony Melton or a Paul Reed, and they go out and they get Zach LaVine, and maybe that won't help the Bulls that much, but they get a couple young players. Then, using the value of Tobias and the fact he's on an expiring deal for the last year, maybe they take Tobias and they immediately flip him and go get more assets. Or maybe the Sixers trade Harden to the Bulls and then the Bulls flip Harden for something else. I don't know. There's so many possibilities, but my point being, it's going to be hard for the Sixers to try to do this one-on-one. And if there is real interest and the Bulls are trying to move Zach LaVine, there's probably competing offers out there. Daryl Morey needs to find a way to make this happen because this is a premier player right here, and he's in his prime, and he could definitely help the Sixers win And I think Nick Nurse would really help his development as well. And man, it's going to be interesting to see kind of how all these situations play out. But what would you think of Zach LaVine on the Philadelphia 76ers? I mean, again, he would come in, he could play on or off the ball, and he would just make this team a lot more dynamic. And I think he'd be a good fit. I think Philly would love him. He always seems to be like a tough-minded, locked-in individual. He's had his stints before with Billy Donovan in Chicago where he's not happy, but he's just a competitor, man. He wants to win, and he's had a couple bad injuries. He's been involved in some trades before, the Butler one, but man, I think LaVine would be a good player on his team. It's probably a long shot, but if there is possibility, all I'm saying is just give an inquiry. Daryl, pick up the phone. Pick up the phone, man. Anyway, we'll just have to wait and see how all of this drama plays out. Do you think LaVine is actually available? And would you go out and try to bring him to your team? Give me all your thoughts on that down below in the comment section. As always, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That being said, I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.